Hi y'all. Today I'm going to do a short video on blending technique. This is more for beginners. I know that there's a lot more ways that you can blend, but this is just to help beginners get started. I highly recommend Prisma colors, and that's what I'm going to use today. Now they are a little bit pricier than, Crayola or some of your off brands like Artist Loft, and I'm not knocking those brands. A lot of people really prefer to use them. However, I do have tendonitis in my hands, and these really help a lot. They are such a soft lead that you don't even have to press half as hard as you do with Crayola. So I'm just going to show you a little bit, about how I set up and what I do. When I find something that I like, or a color scheme that I like, I write it down and I save the colors so that I don't have to figure it out every single time I use them. And what I'm going to show you today is just two different combinations that I really like to use. With Prisma Color, I start with the Peacock Green. I hope I can get this on here for you guys. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit so you can really see what I'm doing. Okay, I'll start off with the Peacock. And I'll lay a light layer first, and then I'll go over it, and I'll just keep adding light layers until it gets a little bit darker. It looks like my paper got wet right there, until I get it darker. And in the end, when I get done laying these light layers down, then I'll use a Colorless Blender, and I'll show you guys what that is in just a minute. And I'm going to move on to my grass green and put a layer of that down. Like so. And I do overlap them just a little bit, not a whole lot, just, so that when they blend, they look good. And then I move on to apple green. And I'll lay a light layer down like that and go back over it till they're just about the same consistency on each layer. And then my chartreuse, hope I pronounced that right. Throw in a layer of that. Again, overlapping on the apple. And then I come back in with the chartreuse like so. And you're probably going, oh, that looks weird, there's hard lines, whatnot. Well, that's when I come in with the color blender, and they have several different kinds. You can use the pencil, Colorless Blender, which works just as well. Artist Loft makes a Colorless Blender pen. Well, it says pencil on it, but it's a pen. And then Prisma Color makes their own little marker here that I like to use. And sometimes it's going to hold this color, but you really want to try to get the color out of it every time you use it. But this is just to show you how I blend. I go back in, and what the Colorless Blender does is it really brings out the pigment that you lay across the paper, so that it's more vibrant and bright, and just really blends these colors together like so. And you can go back over, like let's say you have a hard line right here like this. It still looks really pretty, but let's say you have somewhat of a hard line. You can come back in with your softer color or even your harder color and just kind of fade it into the other one, and then bring your blender pen right back over it, and voila. Let's see if I can get that in there. Looks really pretty. Okay, I'm going to show you one more color scheme. I think I have all this upside down. Let's see. I'm going to use sienna brown, pumpkin orange, pale vermilion, orange, and deco orange. Now with my deco orange, that color's been discontinued with Prisma Color, but they still have it in the marker. So I'm sure you could probably find a lighter one if you want. I'm just going to try the marker on this one. So I'm going to start off with the sienna brown, and do the same thing like I did with the peacock green. I'm going to start with a light layer and fill it in until it becomes darker. And this is one of those things where this is why it helps your fingers, I think, especially if you have arthritis, tendonitis, or, you know, if you're coloring for hours, you don't want to get cramps in your hands. And I found with Prismacolors that I don't. When I used to use Crayola and Artist Loft, again, I'm not knocking those, but when I did use them, after about an hour, my hand would be swollen because I was pressing hard to get the vibrancy and get the brightness that these just lay down automatically. Switch over to our pumpkin. So that's why I recommend these so much. There's a lot of people that, you know, honestly, I haven't met anybody that's used these that doesn't like them. Everybody I know that has switched to Prismacolor or even Faber-Castell polychromos has not looked back. They may grab some of their older ones every once in a while, but most of the people I know that use these, they don't switch back. They really like them for this reason right here, because of how it lays down the colors and how it blends. Now remember, like I said, you're going to overlap these colors. And let's come in with this marker and see what happens. Oops. The marker may not work. I don't know. This is really the first time I've tried it like that. I come in. Everybody else I know mixes their mediums markers with pencils, and it always seems to work out just fine. So we're going to see. Oh, look, it does work. I think I want to put a little bit more sienna in there so it's a little bit darker up at the top. Let's see. There you have it. Let's see. Back that up a little bit. We'll turn it like this so you guys can get a clear picture. See? Doesn't that look wonderful? And again, when you find a color combination that you really like, just it doesn't have to be fancy. My husband printed this off for me so that I could blend the colors and have a good chart, but you can print one off and do it yourself. Just write down the colors that you like and go from there and then start coloring. Have fun. Bye.